So I got through the first few days of Kona by myself, all alone. Hard to get footage and stuff, but it was kind of nice to just be a little bit chill the first few days, go on my own schedule, not have too many commitments. And then Monday is when my whole family showed up. My dad, my stepmom, Nick, and my girlfriend, Livia. Made it. I'm here. Slept a lot, so I can party all night. And that was great, because I was getting pretty lonely by that point, needed some extra company in my life, and kind of got everybody from the airport. Monday night, kind of just chilled, and then Tuesday came along, and that's where things started to feel like they got busy in terms of any types of race commitments mixing in with training. So first thing, Dad and I drove way out to the far end of the bike course. Well, we started up the climb towards Javi, so I basically rode the last kind of the farthest 30-ish miles of the bike course. So I rode up all the way up to Javi. It's pretty windy out there, but nothing crazy on that day. Had a good ride and was able to kind of keep my power up on the way back down, which is what I really wanted to test. All right, here we go. I got an hour and a half with a few pickups, 2 3-minute efforts, 3 2-minute efforts, and a 10-minute at race pace. So not too hard, just a bit of activation, get the body weight woken up, and test this last part of this course out. All right, ride done. Hour 23, 53K. Dad picked up some guys who got flats.
A couple of Australians, new buddies.
No, new buddies, so they're gonna join RTS probably. But yeah, done now. Gotta go do a photo shoot. That ride done, then straight over to, we believe we did kind of some bike shots for Slow Twitch.
Here's the boy.
20 minutes late on time.
No, you're good. I don't think Eric had anything.
I love this. Nah, this is good.
What do you
I
think?
love the tiny little garment. It's so cute.
Jackson, that mustache is so transformative.
Is it?
See it really quick. It's a little.
It's like a
It's a little
dirt-
short. It's no. It's just like.
You're like a scoundrel.
Pretty nice.
I like it.
Yeah, this is a big improvement.
Look at this. I think this is the unit right here. Look at that logo.
Yeah.
Look at that. You just invite Jackson over to do a photo shoot for him, and then you got to clean his bike.
It's what we have to do for most professional athletes that we do.
So tell me, Eric, what do you think about that seat angle?
Well, I asked Jackson if I needed to adjust it, and he proudly looked at me and said, 17 degrees. No, it's definitely the weirdest thing I've ever seen on a professional bike.
That sounds like for all these photo
I'm not
shoots that
gonna lie.
are going to happen on this bike, that saddle's not going to ever get not talked about.
Yeah. It's it's a thing. I am curious to see if this is actually how he will ride it on race day, or if this is just like a Norwegian thing where you're, just messing with everybody's, head before a weekend.
I can affirm that I've not
That's
seen
it,
it change. The 17-degree Jackson.
I'm gonna walk in with it to transition out like a 60-degree angle.
And then you guys might have seen some of the hype from some of the bike articles that have come out about the new Ventum Tempus that I'm riding. And then, yeah, we still had a run and a swim to do that day. Got those done. They were just kind of pretty easy that day. And then what else happened that day, Nick? Did we do anything? You were busy with things every day. Nick's been doing zoot shoots and underwear runs and meetups and who knows what all. I was up at like 5 and doing all that. Oh yeah, we went for that swim. That was the next day. So the next day on Wednesday, we went out and did a swim workout. I had a swim and run workout that day. That was on Wednesday. And a run I did in the morning, 45-ish minutes, got some intervals in. Actually started feeling pretty good on that one. Got the hip was kind of loosening up for me. And then in the afternoon, did a swim. And it was pretty shallow, so we were like almost getting thrown into the coral on some spots. So that was a bit dodgy near the shore. But we kind of just went out and did our 2 rounds of 100 race start, 400 race pace, and felt pretty good on that. So the swim's going to be huge here. I'm really trying to make sure I do these swim workouts and focus on technique and making sure I can keep good turnover and good power on the water and like kind of keep my efficiency in the open water, because that's critical. Like these guys swim so fast. Also did an easy bike that day, but Wednesday was the big day with like a lot of commitments. Okay, we got craziness always from now on till the race, I would say, pretty much.
No, I think just till for today. Today's like real busy, and then it should get chill.
Yeah.
For you at least.
My manager here. Oh, we're picking up my girlfriend right now. She said she'll be at the pedestrian sign. That's probably right there. That's her right there.
Yeah, I see her.
Look at this.
See those? Look at that. Things are working out.
Yeah, things are going nice. We're gonna be early. Everything's great. Had to cut my bike short, but that's fine. Look at that. It's a 10-second delay. That's it.
10-second delay.
That's all it took us to pick you up.
You're welcome.
Did breakfast with Bob.
It's Aloha Wednesday, gonna swim, bike, and run day. Cause it's breakfast with Bob. And Poncho Man, everybody. Welcome.
Then we went in and did, what was after that? Breakfast with Bob. And then I had the Ironman Pro Series panel with some of those boys, kind of asking questions about the Pro Series this year, next year, how that's going.
Jackson, good to have you here. Representing Canada, amazing 70.3 results always, but it seems like the Ironman Pro Series has brought you back to full distance Ironman racing.
Yeah, I was not really planning to do a full, well, maybe just one at the start of the year, and now I've already done 3. So the series for sure really kind of enticed me to give it a shot. And once I jumped in and kind of did Lake Placid, and that was my first one for the series, which is kind of late to start. I kind of realized I need to go over and do Frankfurt if I want to really try to do the series well. And unfortunately, Frankfurt didn't go very well with the crash there and the slick road. So then I was kind of regretting not doing Texas or Cairns or one of these earlier ones. So that's something to think about for next year. But this year was definitely, I think, a learning experience with, is the series going to play out? Is it going to be something I want to take part in? And I focused on the 70.3s early, and now I know for next year, probably pretty important to get that good full result or 2 done by May or June.
We still got 2 more Pro Series races after Kona. We've got Western Australia, 70.3 race, and then obviously the 70.3 Worlds. How are you balancing, the chase for points with having the best possible race you can here in Kona?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a race within a race, right? Because historically, without a Pro Series, you come here and you're like, I've got to be ideally top 5 and top 10 no matter what, or else it's kind of, not really a successful day. But now with the series, you could be below 10th and still get a solid result. So I think it helps to kind of let you kind of play a little bit more conservative maybe in the heat and things that you should probably be doing anyways in a race like this. So it's my first time here. I'm definitely going to have to manage those conditions, and I've prepared the best I can. But it's interesting because you have the dynamic of the best people in the world all here. So the race is faster than any other race, but also you have to keep in mind that it's just such a long day and such tough conditions that you can't really blow all your matches at the beginning. So I think having that series in mind of, needing to just be consistent all day and finish strong is going to help for me, hopefully, perform better in the race. Definitely starting my Ironmans earlier next year, I've already decided. Did a little swim at the pool, didn't bring enough snacks, got real hungry, and went and got a massive amount of lunch at the Poi Dog Deli. Really good sandwiches around here. Expensive like everything, but delicious. So Wednesday kind of came and went, and then Thursday, oh yeah, we had the Envy dinner down at their beautiful Envy house down right on the water. We're at the Envy house for dinner tonight. We got a nice sunset there. Got some nice bikes with Envy wheels, Nick, the Envy folks. Beautiful spot here. Look at that. Sunset views. Nice group of folks there to hang out and chat with. Really good food. So started the carb loading up on Wednesday, and then Thursday, which is today, Felt like it was going to be the most chill day because I have no training. It's a total day off training, 2 days out from the race, which is great for kind of unloading that fatigue. Race meeting at 12:30, had a Zoot breakfast kind of 9 a.m.
This is our RTS crew member and Kona rookie, Jack the Snack. So Jack hasn't raced here before, but he's a running Ironman, and the dude is a monster on the bike. So we're gonna ask Jackson Laundry, maybe some tips to hold some good power on the bike. What are your bike tips?
Great. Well, I'm glad you segued it into that because my point was going to be don't ride for power.
Oh.
So, yeah, obviously I've never been to Kona before. This is really cool. I'm soaking in all these tips, and I think for me it's going to be key to get out there and get my first one in and remember all these things from the people who've won Kona and the people who've been successful in Kona because they've been there, done that. So definitely soaking that in. But in terms of the cycling, you definitely, power is an amazing, we got all these incredible sort of metrics we can follow now, and power is probably the number one that we use for the bike. And I use it all the time in my training. But when it comes to the race, you definitely want to keep an eye on things to make sure you're not way outside your zones, but you actually want to ride for speed. So if you're focused so much on your power, you're actually not focused on making sure you're in a good aero tuck, making sure you're carrying your momentum over the tops of the hills. And sometimes you might even be pushing too hard on the downhills because you have such, you're looking at that power, but if you're going really, really fast, you actually want to drop power down a little bit to kind of conserve and just get aero. So I would say sometimes in training, using that mindset of, okay, for this interval, I'm not really going to look on power. I'm just going to ride speed. I'm going to go as fast as I can. And I think you'll find you can get a little bit more speed out of your power. And then when you're in the race, that's what you're able to do. And that's where I've been pretty successful, I think, is, I've obviously been able to train to get some pretty good power, but a lot of the times I'm riding similar power to the guys in the race and I'm going faster. So I think some of it is that. So yeah, and then on race day here, obviously you've got the wind, you've got some other things, and just focusing on carrying that speed and kind of fighting the conditions or working with them as best you can is going to be important. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. And obviously with the pro race, it gets different because you got people doing crazy attacks and different things. But for you guys, for sure, you can kind of stay in your zones and stay comfortable and just ride for speed and, get through that bike as best you can.
Anytime you have to go into town, so we're staying sort of at the far end of Ali'i, about 15 minutes from, about 5 miles from the race site. It's great that we're kind of out of the busy area and we don't necessarily need to go into town if we're doing a bike ride or something. But when we do drive into town, it's tough to find parking. It's really busy. You got to allow a lot of extra time. So obviously there's positives and negatives, but right in town can be pretty expensive too. So a bit cheaper out this way, I think. But yeah, it's been, today's been busy. Lots of photo shoots. I did some interviews with the feed. I've done, what else did we do? We just put together a reel that hopefully you guys have already seen with Ventum and Envy. Getting our own content together. That's the one thing I made sure when Nick and I were talking about coming out here. I was like, we got to get some great vlog content because I want to make sure we're taking care of all the sponsors, but also getting some good content for you guys and for our own channels to promote RTS and to promote me. So,
Jackson, why are the only lights on right next to us?
We're trying to limit our evening light so we can sleep better.
So maybe it's so we can't see that thing that's growing on your face that has an equal spacing of the size of a pinky between the center of it.
Yeah.
Power's out, I guess. Is that what's happening?
Power's out just for a small area, which of course includes us.
It's been pretty awesome. And yeah, pro meeting went off kind of low stress, honestly. Like you're outside by the ocean, like it just felt a little bit more chill, even though they were like super organized with all the like slides coming through and just sort of getting through it very efficiently. So that was one of the better pro meetings for sure. But tightened all the bolts, put thread lock everywhere I could to make sure nothing comes loose. So this is the bike. We've got the new Ventum, awesome profile design front end, but the Ventum is the prototype. So they just announced it here in Kona. Fast TT bars and some of the extenders and bottom tower and bottle mount. And then we've got the NV SES 6.7s, which I think are going to be perfect for this course. In front we've got a Swiss side 26 mil Aero 111 tire. Actually, it's a Continental tire designed by Swiss side, and that's supposed to be more aero for crosswinds. And then the rear we got the GP 5000 28 mil drivetrain, SRAM red, 12 speed, 2x with the 5643 up front, 10 to 34 in the back, so big gear range. And then of course we got the bi-saddle, which is has been awesome for me this year. And yes, I do race with it at this angle. It's about a 17-degree angle, and that's what's been the most comfortable for me. And yeah, that's the bike. It's been fast. It's gonna be fast again. Can't wait to race with it out there. In terms of the cleaning and stuff I just did, I just wiped down the whole frame and everything, got all the like sweat and stuff off it, which we had quite a bit of here from Kona. And then I basically just put hot water to kind of like melt off all the wax from the cassette, the pulley wheels, the chain rings, and then put the new race chain on, which is like already broken in. So it's doesn't need much riding. I'll just put one ride on it. And then I'll give it a quick wipe down tomorrow and we'll be ready. And then the other thing you always have to check is your brakes. Make sure they're not rubbing, and they weren't this time, which is good because sometimes that can be finicky with disc brakes. But that's the bike, ready to go. What am I gonna wear? I'm gonna wear the P1X tri-suit from Zoot.
How you like it?
It's awesome. It's freaking fast suit for sure. Like those new materials, the new patterns they've got on the shoulder are definitely really fast. The legs have the new material that's a little bit, more aero. A little lighter, yeah, and I've been testing it out. It's awesome. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna not wear the sleeves up for the swim, because this race is kind of the perfect race for me to not have the tri-suit over my shoulders, because you've got quite a long run to get to the bikes where I'll have time to put it on, and also just being an Ironman, you've got a longer swim where you want to make sure your shoulders are going to stay strong throughout that last couple K where, could get pretty draining. So day before the race, my main goal is to have pretty much everything prepared tonight mentally in terms of knowing the course, knowing what bags I need to prepare, when I'm checking my bike, when I'm checking my run stuff, all that. And obviously run shoes need to come in. Everybody knows where the heck are my race shoes. Well, they're coming in Friday, day before the race. So we should have time to get the race laces in, put them in the T1 bag. But if not, the T2 bag, I mean. If not, we got Mark Dubrick is the same size as me, has the Nike Vaporflies, so might have to borrow his. Mark coming through for me once again.
We should.
What are you doing right now, bud?
Jackson asked me if he could steal something from my bike. These little hooks.
Wow.
They're gonna catch on. We need to make these ourselves and start selling them.
They'll start to do it. Making machines.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
Oops.
going Jackson. Like,
Nice. Yeah, those would be awesome for low wind.
Totally.
That just looks like you're ready to race right now. Do you think you could just do the whole? What if we just sent you and you did it
right now?
Yeah.
I'd be the only one doing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, what if it was an individual decide on your own when you wanted to race?
Ooh, and then no drafting and stuff?
Yeah, solo.
I think solo, no drafting on the bike, I'd be top 5.
It's like a FKT.
Yeah. I think I'd do it.
So what you're saying is a lot of the boys get a lot of help on the moto.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Allegedly.
You'll find out.
Yeah, well, perfect day for me would be I swim maybe if the lead pack ends up kind of staying together, like a big group of like 20 or 30, and I could just latch onto the back of that and kind of ride really hard at the start to get in there with the front guys. That would be honestly really stellar. Haven't had like a lead pack quality swim in a couple years now, so now would be a great time for it. But in the more likely scenario, I end up in the chase group. But if I did end up with the lead guys, then you're just letting them kind of set the pace on the bike and just hanging in there. I know I can ride with those guys if I am there, but it's hard to get there if you're not there on the swim. So obviously, if I can ride with that group and then just conserve as much as I can and try to hang as close to the front as I can and get onto the run and just run my pace. If you're starting near the front of the race, on the run, you're in a really great spot to potentially have a top 5. But honestly, probably a 90% chance I'll end up in like either the second or the third group. In which case, there's still going to be tons of strong cyclists around that are, really strong, comparable or close to the same as like the front guys like Ditlev and Laidlow. So working with those guys to kind of have a really good ride and keep pace with that front group, or at least not bleed much time. But yeah, I'm gonna make sure that the day before the race I feel already prepared. So tonight, 2 days out, I'm gonna go over the course maps, do all those things to make sure that mentally the next day, the day before the race, is a lot more easier mentally, and just got to go do that swim, run, bike, get the body kind of firing, make sure things are feeling good, and then yeah, bike drop, gear bag drop, and put the feet up and just rest, get a bunch of carbs in. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
It's Aloha Wednesday, gonna swim, bike, and run day. Lots of breakfast with Bob.
And Pancho Man, everybody.